be live. You'll notice it's popping up.
No notices? Nobody notices?
There it goes.
Just got it? Okay. Let's see. Hey, Hope. You here? Jay, you here? Big Shot, what up, dog? We going a little early in lieu of the circumstances of everything. Trying to get to 100. Can I get to 100? Can I get some likes in the building, please? Remember, likes are not mandatory. I'm not asking for money. I'm not asking you to subscribe. Well, I am asking you to subscribe. I'm asking you to subscribe and hit the notification bell so that you know when I go live and you know what's going on and you know the reports I'm about to give because I only give them once a week now. So I'm saying to you guys, hit the like, hit the subscribe, hit the bell. Let yourself know what's going on because it's going down. Oh my gosh, how many people are in here? Let me see here. 60. I got Hope. I got Jay Lee. I got Big Shot. I got Sam. What up, Sam? I got David Buds. Gang, gang. Hope's all doing safe. I hope you all are doing safe. I hope you are practicing social distancing via the internet. I hope that you're also not engaged with a bunch of people fundamentally on a daily basis. And I also hope that you have the opportunity to keep your safe and your family away from the virus because I believe that's very, very important. Oh my God, somebody's throwing. I feel like a stripper. I'm feeling like a stripper. Who's that? Who is that right there? Who's that throwing that money? Who is that throwing that money? Neil, shout out. Hope, George, Raymond,
Big show.
Kenny, Big Shot, $2. I'll take it, baby. Dang. Twerk for that money, man. Come on now. Patricia, Caprice, King Oga, Neil, shout out Big Shot for real, man. It's money time. I'm gonna show you why it's money time. And not because it's something, crazy, but I'm gonna show you. What up, bro? What up, Raymond? What up, Diana? Hello from Florida. I hope Florida's safe. 7,000 victims. I hope y'all are safe. Raymond, what up, baby? John, what up, dog? Miss BB said hello to Sammy. George, if I get to 100, I'm going to play the theme music. How many likes we got? Can I get some likes? Appreciate that dough, man. Can we get them likes? Man, 31 likes. Thank y'all. Thank you guys. Half the people on the set represent the gang. Hello, Denise. Hello, Sarah. How you doing? Hey, Gurka. Vic. George. Jay Lee. Oil, oil, low, 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 bang, bang. Ooh, I'm going to get to that too. Ooh, I can't wait. Josie, what up? Oh, aloha. Hope, what's going on, girl?
Josie is in Hawaii,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
How's Hawaii, Josie? Have they done anything about the stay at home in Hawaii?
I don't know.
Yeah,
I
I
never
haven't heard
checked.
anything about Hawaii.
I don't check. We got some bombs. Well, if I'm on here, I got some bombs. If I'm on here, we got them bombs now. Come on now. Dong show all day, man. I got some dong talk too. Yeah, I had to mix them. There's not a lot of dinar talk out there because everybody really knows what needs to happen. Oh, he said Bill Matt said yes, we are going on lockdown, Miss BB.
Okay.
Wanda said hi, Miss April BB and Mr. Brando. Hi, Wanda. Margarita, Sammy D. They're raising taxes here in Nashville. That sucks. Cashville is what I called it. Chef Gang Gang, my daughter's
That's
uncle
crazy.
died from corona. Oh my God.
Sorry to hear that.
Man, can I get 19 seconds of silence then for real though for Chef? Shout out, Chef, man. 19 seconds is just pure, just quietness. Just let that just permeate through you. That I told everybody, man, that I thought what was going on eventually was going to reach somebody that was close to us, being right here, our gang. And obviously, we got Miss Bethany people got it, Chef Gang people got it. There's other people out there I know have been tested. We're on self quarantine. I hope y'all are taking this seriously.
Drink something hot, you guys.
Yeah.
It allegedly kills the virus.
Or drink ethyl alcohol. It'll
Mm-mm.
kill it too.
Lemon and hot water.
Chef Gang always, baby. You know what it is. It's gang life, man. I hate to say it like that, but we roll together, we cry together, we live together, we do a lot together, man. So I'm just saying, like, it's not easy. Not easy being greasy. Molly, hey, been a while. Nah, man, it's been like 7 days. My condolences. Go ahead. What were you gonna say, babe?
I think you did a show Friday. Did you do a show Friday? No.
Wednesday, I think.
Um,
I did one on Patreon, Facebook. If you're Patreon, I did one on Facebook. We did one the next day.
that's right.
We've been doing a bunch of Patreon issues, man, because they've been tripping. Kelvin, Mr. Brando. I'm not going to yell tonight. Yo, Jamal, good to see you, man. Sending love. How do you say your name? Olia Haynes? Nicole, 95 people and counting.
I'm just giving that shout outs.
Chef, my gang, man, my dog, for real. Shanta, it's my gang. Sammy D, that's gang. It's for real. Anthony, man, that's my
We
people.
there. We there.
We there? Can I start the theme music?
Go on and start it.
Oh my Lord, the sweetest sounds that your mind, your body, your soul probably needed to hear for about a week. I've been absent, but I'm back. I'm about to bring this news to your body. And I'm going to feed you. And I'm going to get you right. But until then, you're going to have to settle down for the most melodious, most awesome sounds you've ever heard in your life.
Daisy right there. She's just chilling. I fed her so she can't let that ground turkey settle in. She'll come around. Come here, Daisy.
Oh, Daisy Ken.
You in the chill mode today?
Yeah, she's not being rambunctious today.
Because she's full. Her belly's full. You gonna hurt?
You okay, girl? Little Lips. Little Lips. You want to sing the theme song? Come here. Come here. Let me see. Let him see you.
She's full.
Yeah, you're full. She don't even want to jump. Hey, Mike.
I know how to get him. Hey, Shanta.
Hey, Greg. Timeless classics. Oh, there she go.
There go Daisy.
Where's your ball? Go get your ball. Blessings from Puerto Rico. I love Puerto Rico. Puerto Rico. Love that place, man. San Juan.
That's how you say it.
Oli?
Aaliyah.
Olia. It's pronounced Olia. Oh, Olia. Bienvenidos de Casa de Jackson. You know what it is, baby. Thank you for showing up. Thank you for taking time out your week. And thank you for taking a few moments out your day to be in the presence of us. I appreciate everything y'all do. I want to start off by saying thank you. From sincerity, from the bottom of my heart, man. The likes compared to the views is, sometimes we get more likes than people get views on their videos. And y'all, that motivates me so tough. Thank you so much for doing what you do. I know I'm crazy. I know I do lunatic things. I know my mouth is reckless. You know how I do. But you know what? I do this for you. I do it because I like doing it. And if I didn't do it anymore, I'd feel absent in my life because I really, really feel like doing this all for everybody. And you know what it is? Polar Don. I got my sexy, the most genteel. I got probably top 5 sexiest women on the planet next to me. And there's my lovely, lovely wife. She got her glasses
I
on.
do. I'm a nerd today, y'all.
She's a
How you
nerd
doing?
every day, and that's the way I see her, and that's the way I love her. She's gorgeous. Oh my god, so beautiful.
I have to check that out.
Um, I'm gonna go to the. I'm gonna go not go to the video. Sorry, talking production talk. We're gonna go straight to it. Like I said, I posted up. Miss BB will tell you my phone number is this. If any of y'all ever wondered, if you want to call in live on this show, my phone number is 903-392-9968. And that is available for your calls, your interjections. Because honestly, this was all about live calls, wasn't it, in the beginning? It's about asking questions, man, getting involved. So I'm going to give the report, but at any point you want to interrupt me with a phone call or Miss BB has a call, I'll try not to talk over you. I'll try to do this the right way.
Okay.
Someone give me a comment and said, please don't talk over your co-host. I respect that because I think sometimes I do. You know what I'm saying? It's called the desire to listen. I need to listen more, talk less, right? So Miss BB is going to be on the ones and twos and the bombs. Mr. Brando's going to be on the report, and you guys tell me how you feel. I'm going to start myself off with a bomb, though. Woo! So glad to be here every day. Like I said, first off, the show's phone number is 903-392-9968. Let's get back to the live calls. Let's get back to the live questions. Let's get back to what has got us to be where we were. There's a lot of news out there, and there's a lot of opinions being cast. And I'd like to start a dialogue about that because I think more so that with this investment, there's a lot of people out there that have opinions. They don't ever voice it until after the fact. They leave a comment, whether it be good or bad, and I'm cool with that. But you know what? They don't ever engage in the fact that, you know what? This show is live for a reason. So you can call and let's talk about it. Now, if there is any news or opinions cast upon this newscast right here, just understand that the knowledge that comes from this, it is second only to none because I've included U.S. stock equity information. I am not a financial advisor. Ms. BB has an MDA in finance. I do not. And I don't want you to consider anything that we talk about, whether Ms. BB or myself, to be financial advice. And you can check my disclaimers in every one of my, what do you call that, descriptions?
Yes, your description.
Okay. Parliamentary crisis cell confirmed on Monday that there is no legal objection to sending the financial budget to Parliament by the government, stating that approving the budget will end the crisis of providing funds in the face of the 19. Yes, it does. It does remove you from Article 8. Just give purchasing power to your people. With that, the huge lift in the ability for the Iraqi people to purchase medical, housing, PMEs, and everything else will aid the Iraqi economy and aid it to build beyond where it is today. You got to be on your job, dog. Come on,
sorry.
come on now. Got
I
your
was
phone.
over there attending to
Yeah,
Daisy
chat.
too.
Forget Daisy. She'll be all right. Her ball is in the chair now.
I know. I didn't mean to throw it that hard.
She won't go up in the chair to get it either.
I know.
Do you want to go get the ball for her?
Yeah.
Sorry, y'all. If she does not get this ball for Daisy, Daisy will stare at this chair for an hour. So, okay, now Daisy's happy. Understand what that means. There's no objection to sending the finance committee. Now, we already know that the auditors, I don't know if did I tell YouTube the auditors have left Iraq in lieu of the 19 and went back home? The United States told all the auditors that were in Iraq to go home and to be safe. I don't remember if I did or didn't, but give ourselves a bomb on that one. I don't know if anybody else has reported that, but the United States told all auditors, go home. Do not stay in Iraq. Why? Because auditors' only job is to do what? Audit and manage the country's budget and make sure it's perfect to go forth from there to finance, from finance to publication, and with that, they can carry on their lifestyle and pay their bills, right? Now, sending the budget and making an amendment by the House of Representatives, especially regarding the allocations of the Ministry of Health, will contribute to strengthening the war against the 19 in the Iraq at an early date. The Parliament Crisis Cell is continuous. Contract with all government agencies in order to import medical supplies and health tools that contribute to the ruins of their lives. You rarely hear them talk about economy and then talk about Iraq life. At the same time, the article, it is funny because they know like I know, like you know, like we know. To help people, why do they drag their feet and put it in print so you know they've already done what they need to do? That's why the auditors have left, or that simply put, we're about to see that budget go to finance, which will go to parliament. That's a bomb.
Bill Mancy said you told Patreon.
I told Patreon. So I didn't tell y'all. I told Patreon. The auditors have left Iraq because of in fear of the 19. And with that, it gave the green light for basically auditors to say, if you have any questions, they told you to contact you by email. I dropped that email address on Patreon. I'm sorry, I don't have it in front of me right now. I apologize to you guys right now. I thought I gave it to both, but I didn't. But when I knew the auditors have left, you can check my site and text. Everything's on top of board with me. But I apologize that I didn't give it to you guys earlier. I thought I had. Now, why the auditors left, it wasn't for public safety. The auditors left because the budget probably is already done or satisfactory in the eyes of the UN and the United States and every other country involved inside of the new Iraqi government. But public safety, it wasn't that they are not going to take the probably the number one investment besides Vietnam on the planet and abandon it. But they're telling buyers when they know they just gave them 15 million contingency on them doing certain things with a budget. With a budget that I've been talking about for months now. Budget. With a budget comes what? Now, certain factors that are going on political alliances as well as taking troops and rearranging them from base to base, place to place. This is not them retreating. This is called military strategic alliances. They're not leaving. They're just moving.
They're moving.
Another question that will arise today in today's show is that why is a country with the propinquity of Vietnam to China only about 1,500 miles away? Why are they successfully avoiding the 19 in this type of current global economic environment as they sustain themselves where other countries are failing? Now, I will tell you this. All the people, I don't believe they've had one death in Vietnam because of 19.
They've had 0 deaths.
0 deaths.
218 cases. And they shut down their borders way early.
How does a country 1,500 miles away not suffer from this?
Because they were on it.
They're actionary, right?
Yes, they didn't wait.
Not the other, right?
I was just sharing that with Shanetta earlier. We were talking on the phone. That's why I know the numbers, because I texted to her.
Who was that who just gave us some money?
Oh, that was Bethany. I'm sorry.
Bethany, thank you. Got me twerking like a... The challenge facing many of the world's poor developing nations, including those like Vietnam. But while it might look like their foregone conclusion is that 19 outbreak would ravage such a country, Vietnam has instead stood as a beacon of how to do more with less. So far, that country, this is when I did the report earlier today, 194 confirmed 19 cases. South Korea, for example, has tested 338,000 people. In Vietnam, that number stands at about 15,000 people. But by focusing on measures that are within control of the government and control of commerce, the country has won the praise of the international community abroad. They have done a great job. That's why Vietnam is a sound investment for manufacturing and shipping, because they're not getting the 19.
We live, Steve-O.
They suspended their flights from the CH. It also decided to close down their schools. After the Lunar New Year break, 2 weeks later, they quarantined the province of Phin Phuc, north of Hanoi. That decision was sparked by concerns over health status of migrant workers returning from the CH, where the virus originated, or it may not have. Ms. Bibi saw news today that, you know what, that virus might have started in Brazil. Vietnam's proactive efforts come after 2 decades in which the country has experienced a large improvement in quality of life. When people don't understand when I talk about Vietnam, it's because of all of these reasons why I believe Vietnam as Iraq is a sound investment, especially for exporting, because they're so proactive and they're so on top of what they need to do to get things done. Now, I'm not saying that they're going to go, and I'm not conceding to Ms. BB and saying, hey, look, they're going to win. I'm just saying, as an investment strategy, OMG, you've got to applaud Vietnam and the way they've stepped up to the plate and the way they're doing things because guess what? This country between 2002 and 2018 had an economic transfer that helped lift more than 45 million Vietnamese out of poverty. Their gross domestic product, their GDP per capita, had doubled to over 2,500 in 2018, raising them above the wage per poverty line. When the country saw real GDP growth of about 7.1%. The health of a nation has improved too. Their life expectancy rose from 71 years to 76 years from 1990 to 2015. Now, I don't know what it is today in 2020. I didn't see the report, but I thought that was very interesting because as you have workers in a workforce, you want to know not only can they withstand the work, but how long when they do it become taxpayers. Like I've always said, I will say this again, you don't need more taxes. What do you need? More taxpayers. As a populace ages, you want to see it replenished by new working force because that tax force now is becoming replenished by people now that are living longer, they're doing better, they're having a better quality of life. Guess what? Right. As Vietnam gets higher end things to sell, guess what's going to happen to them? Right. They're going to become more attractive in the global economic presence, more so than China, more so than Singapore, more so than India, if they maintain the pace that they're on today. Now, consider this if you're a trade partner. This country's life expectancy has gone up. Their GDP is growing by leaps and bounds. They just signed major trade agreements in other countries based upon major trade agreements with our country. So what do you think to do? So they have to keep their currency on par with the rest of the world. And they've already stated that obviously they want to do so. They want to be in the agreement, therefore, and with the average person's quality of life, makes them live longer and have fair and more profitable wages per Vietnamese citizen. Remember, the game here is watching the markets, not just our market. I think people lose sight. The market that you and I look for is Iraq. But we shouldn't just keep our focus on Iraq. Iraq is a small piece in a huge pond. And guess what?
What?
By watching that, we lose sight of guess what? The global economic plan is, and guess what? It's growing. Now, you also have to watch out for markets that are happening around you. Newfound wealth is not just the market that is emerging in front of you, but the emerging market that's happening around you that you're not paying attention to. Got your phone?
Oh.
The last thing beat up investors want to see right now is how often dreaded technical information in the markets. Yet, that where we are after the S&P has rallied hard off the low achieves of a year ago. For the first time in over a year, the S&P 500 is seeing a 50-day moving average cross below 200-a-day moving average. You can check IU Finance for this. It points out to Sundial Capital Research. This is known at Wall Street as a death cross and commonly believed to be a bearish short-term indicator of the market. Now, bearish short-term. I didn't say long-term. I didn't say prolonged. I said short-term. That means as those markets change, things will happen within the space. Now, that means that short-term is going to turn to medium-term to long-term. Vietnam as well as Iraq are going to make a turn. But in our S&P, they said short-term. So that means they don't expect a full-blown recession, so to speak, but a short-term loss for investors, right? Not all technical analysts are concerned about the pattern reemerging. In terms of the moving average cross, there are so many other forces at play, and the backdrop so historically complex. So don't jump out the window and don't believe everything that you hear out there, and understand that the market like this is kind of like the ocean. It's always changing, always evolving, always going to do this, the market that we have loved for 11 plus years. This correction will not last forever, and guess what? Neither will the suppression of financial instruments that have been suppressed based upon either political gain or trade balance. Going back to 1928, when the S&P had formed a death cross under 200 days, the index had dropped a median percent of 2.9 over the next month, some declining during the data set used has been severe. However, The death cross formation hit on May 4th, 1962. The S&P went up on to lose 13.1%. The death cross was triggered on August 28, 2015, and S&P quickly rose to 5.3 over the month. So as things quickly come, things quickly go. If your head's not on a swivel and prepared for the worst, guess what happens?
What?
You will lose your money, and you will lose it rapidly. So if you're not paying attention to the market space, please do so. I need number 2 on that. How many likes do we got?
55.
How many people in the chat?
134.
55? Come on, y'all. Can we get some love? Can I see a little love? Just a little love? I'm not getting no love. I can feel it. The love is stale. I'm not feeling the love. I guess me and Daisy should play ball for like 45 seconds. I just want love. Where we at now?
Hold on a second.
Because this is fire. I never talk the S&P. I don't talk it because I don't know it. I don't talk it because, you know what? I brought you guys here to talk about Iraq, but I want to talk about the S&P because I want to bring it full circle to Iraq and back to Vietnam.
You got 93.
93 likes?
Yeah.
Booyah, I'm bringing it. The return across stock sectors and the S&P index itself suggests that this is not a robust sellout. In fact, it is over a medium to short term time frame. Only caveat is that quite a few recent signals saw a testing phase of an initial low. Though that has become such consequence, the opinion is of such, it is unlikely for the market to accommodate so many similar opinions. Meaning that just because this market goes bad, it doesn't mean all markets go bad. It means that something has to recover. Even though I told you guys the rubber band, which is a pendulum, swings both ways. Remember, our market's called a domestic market. Emerging markets are overseas. As this market goes down, guess where people find safe haven if they don't find it in precious metals or digital space?
Where?
In emerging markets. And guess what people are going to pump and dump into?
What?
Stuff like Vietnam, stuff like South Korea, stuff like India, stuff like Iraq. You want to know why?
Why?
Because they outperform our markets year after year. But the only thing that truly makes any money in the market space is ours. You want to know why? Because we have a currency that is of 2. Once those markets hit a nominal value for their currency, can you imagine the performance of those markets and what they will do for the investor as a whole? Now, could any of y'all believe this? A pint of good beer in Canada will probably cost you about $5. Now you can actually buy a barrel of oil for less than that. Traders tell me that the price of Western Canada Select, WCS, is actually quoted at $4.18 per barrel. I wouldn't have believed that if someone would have told me that last year. I don't care who said it. Me, not to name anybody else, but me. You can put your favorite person in there, B too. Daisy could have told me. And there was no way because last year I was reading you the actual futures for oil and it was nowhere around this. Guess what they were saying?
What?
$60+ a barrel. And guess what? We're at $5 a barrel.
Yeah.
The stranglehold, not just on Iraq, but the whole OPEC situation, as much as the trade organization, the WTO, is in jeopardy of success. Now, if you could have foreseen this and you did not short oil, you were a fool. You should have done this not because you talked about it on YouTube, because you actually had faith in an investment and you should have stayed true to your brand. God bless all the folks that have been out there directly affected by this or subdirected by it. I feel for you. Whether it be oil, 19, out of work, whatever, I feel you. I'm out of work myself right now. I'm not working. I make no money, which is okay. It's not okay for the household, but you know what? It's okay because by me not going outside, I'm not going to be a victim to something that I could bring inside to kill my loved ones. Make sense? Okay.
Are you open to questions or you want me
Sure. Bring in the questions.
Okay, JD wants to know where can I find the April 6th document?
The trade agreement? Google it. China trade agreement. Look up the subtext. Go to the
Jaylee, is that what
gov.site.
you're asking for?
Yeah, he's looking up the China trade agreement.
I thought we posted
I
that.
posted it several times. Facebook and everywhere else. It's not a secret.
April, it was the April 6th?
April 6th. Yeah, that's what it says. And enforcement as of April 6th. Now, April 6th of what time? I don't know if it's Chinese time or China time or our time, but that document goes into effect.
Um, and then can we invest in oil?
You can, but right now oil's tanking.
Right.
So don't. Okay, this is not financial advice nor my financial advisor. I would say this: if something's plummeting, I wouldn't invest in it. Does that make sense?
Of course.
Wait a couple weeks, like the president said. Let's see what the peak of the 19 could be. Let's see where oil is at that time, and if it's around $3-4, you might want to get in. But now you know it's 5. If you feel good at 5, get in. At $5 ain't bad. But I wouldn't bet oil to be at $5 for the whole year.
Okay. There was a question that the group had earlier that they sent me. Hold on a second. So I want to go to that because it pertains to oil. Um, and this is in reference to Zion oil. What's your opinion on Zion oil?
I sold my position
Right. I know.
early.
I know you did.
I freaked. I freaked when it hit like 40 something cents, doubled my money. I got out of that deal. Here's my feeling about Zion oil. If they were going to get oil at the time frame that everybody was expecting it, it would have been done. Since they did not, they're going to need more time. Now, at the luxury of my money.
And they do have more time. They got until June.
Right. And at the luxury of my money, I wasn't going to let it sit at that point where I didn't make any money because I'm in this to make money. I'm not in it to lose my money. Right. I sold my position, doubled my money, got out of it. Mm-hmm. Now, I didn't get back into it. You know why? Mm-hmm. Because there's other investments out there that I thought could make the same windfall with less volatile circumstance.
So, do you see? Okay, so with the saturation of the oil out there, right? We know there's a lot of oil, right?
So let's say they strike it big. Let's say they hit a gusher.
Let's say they hit a gusher.
At $5 a barrel, who are they going to sell it to?
Well, and then
who's going to store it?
My other thing is, do you think they'll ever hit their dollar price point?
$1? No, I think they'll hit 60, 70 cents.
Okay.
And at a down market, 60, 70 cents. At an up market, 5 plus. At a great market, maybe 10. But nah.
Okay.
Pipe dreams. It's like the Zim dollar. I don't believe in that either.
Okay, so you wouldn't.
No, I'm out of that deal.
You wouldn't. I mean, I know you're out, so you wouldn't buy. Okay, even if it was down, you wouldn't buy. Okay.
Because oil is a commodity. It's not pulling the oil out of the ground that people think's expensive. The expensive part is storage and transportation. Mm-hmm. So once you've got it all stored and transported wherever it's going to go, what are you going to do with it? Can't eat it. Oil could legitimately go negative. They could actually pay people to take that product from them. And guess what would happen to the oil markets? OPEC included. The Saudis, I'm talking about Aramco, everything else could go to boop.
Yeah.
And guess what? The Saudi family, Russia's already worthless, but Russia, Saudi, everybody would be lacking. They'd lose their wealth. A long shot bet at a horrible epidemic. That's what's happened.
So, okay. And so let me ask you another question about oil. So, Chevron, Exxon, Shell, you would buy none of those.
Not right now. I'd give it 2 weeks. 2 weeks. For every time that the President Trump comes out and says, I'm saying this again 2 weeks, I'd wait 2 weeks. Every time, because the markets do what? They ebb and flow off of the president's emotion. Mm-hmm. And so I'd more so watch his body language, and I'd more so watch what he's doing as an investor and say, now I feel like he doesn't have a hold of this, and now I'm going to invest because it's at its bottom.
And even still going back, the market is saturated with oil. I would think.
But the world moves on oil. It's temporary. Once travel opens back up and cruises open back up, oil's going to go from $5 to at least probably 45 to, let's say, $35 to $40. It's going to recoup. Airplane travel's going to kick back in. You're going to travel in your car again. The oil market's not dead and forgotten. It's not the death toll of oil. But what it is the signal to the savvy investor. You know what? Watch not just the tickers, but watch the politicians that control those tickers. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
There's a greater purpose here.
Okay. That kind of makes sense because I was kind of holding my position and I stopped. I have a drip in Chevron. Mm-hmm. I've purchased Exxon. I wasn't selling anything, but I was just holding my position. So, all right. Makes sense. Thank you for that.
Mm-hmm. kind of don't know my thought here. I said I told my Patreon group a while ago that having something so cheap, I guess I meant oil, was going to be a major forecast for us, going to help us, enable us to the finish line. But I didn't realize that the bottom was going to be so low. Now with this type of economic pressure on a country, that exports are at an all-time basically negative. Can anybody sit here and argue the point with me right now? And if you can, my phone number, Miss BB should post it, 903, whatever it is, 9968. How long can they last via storage, via the transportation, the extradition, or the consumption? At this pace, how can that country keep itself upright based upon the employees, the Social Security, the retirement, as well as housing, as well as medical? And all these are valid questions. And I know Iraq has the answer to it. I don't think they ever equated into this equation, though, at $13 a barrel. Because what they do is, let's say it costs you $5 to get it out, they add $8 for storage and extraction, and that's how they come up with price per barrel per day. Okay? But $4 oil is incredibly, nonetheless, worthless. Traders say that cheap as opposed to the CH markets. But basically, the CH markets are still closed. And they're not saying that. So you can't ship it to Asia. Sending it to the Gulf of Mexico by rail or by pipeline adds about $8 to $10 to the price. And no one down there really wants it anyway because there are oil everywhere. And guess what? All the tanks are filling up. And I said this, and I said this, and I said this. There goes oil, there goes Iraq, there goes Saudi, there goes Russia, there goes China. No oil, no revenue, no manufacturing, no nothing. The world stops. I've said it a million times. Now, with me saying that, guess what that means to the average investor in the Iraqi dinar?
What?
That because now you got an option. You've got an option. You could simply reinstate your currency, open up your ISX, show your public sector, and allow in foreign investment to pour in, and guess what? They would save your country wholehandedly. The United States just gave them a lifeline of $15 million based upon them doing correction within their market space. But only if they correct their market space. Why? Because they know what we know. They've invested in Vietnam.
Okay.
They've invested in Iraq. And guess who now they're investing in? Venezuela. You know why? Because they gave Venezuela, that Maduro guy, they told him, we're going to charge you with drug trafficking. It's so funny that the USA government finds these trafficking laws. All of a sudden, now this guy's been president for how many years? Now he's a drug trafficker?
Speaking of drugs, I just sent you something in Messenger.
I can't see it.
Oh, you don't have Messenger?
I do, but I can't go back and forth. I'll lose my place.
Okay. Trump just said that he's putting military on each coast. Drug cartel. He just announced that.
Now, in all of this chaos, right? The Republicans and the Democrats, I don't care if you're red or blue or a donkey or an elephant, you've got to find it actually kind of funny that they use this opportunity to create something called a digital dollar. I did do this on YouTube, right? Now, that digital dollar, it's backed by the Federal Reserve. And it is not that the Federal Reserve is being taken over by President Trump. BlackRock, which everybody's considering the takeover, has been involved in the federal government for the last 11, 12 years. Simple lookup, Google search, you could find it for yourselves. However, the destruction of the Fed was not in place, but it's legitimized right now by being forced by what's called banking inclusion. Because now, with the invention of this digital dollar, it's going to force the rest of America via a stimulus package into the digital space in which the Federal Reserve backs. I could probably, people get mad at me for saying this. Hit a bomb before I do it because they're going to check out. I know they are. By President Trump doing this, it's kind of like Ali Allah putting his name on the currency. He wrote his name on the currency. That currency's not his, but he wrote his name on it. It's called the digital dollar.
Mm.
And the Fed ain't going nowhere. Nowhere. Matter of fact, he installed the Fed to be here forever. So all this gold back that I hear, you golden zombie freaks, guess what? Say la vie. Told you. Hate to say it, but that's the truth. Give me number 2. Now, with accounts that are called Fed accounts, they're not even called citizen accounts, they're called Fed accounts. Every American can have a bank account with the Federal Reserve. A historic step forward in support for widespread digital currency use that has been lagged by progressives and cryptocurrency enthusiasts alike. Now, a collection of 30 investors and sustainability focus groups have raised concerns in a letter from the Federal Reserve or potential conflicts of the interest of a lack of transparency in the oversight of recent agreement between the central bank and BlackRock. By giving BlackRock full control of the debt buyout program, the Fed is further entwining the roles of government and private actors. In doing so, it makes BlackRock even more systematically important in financial systems, yet BlackRock is not subject to regulatory scrutiny or even smaller systematically in former financial institution. So you're going to ask yourself, what is financial scrutiny? It is regulatory board, or RSB, or board, is an independent body within the commission which scrutinizes the quality of impact assessment, evaluations, and fitness checks. The board acts independently and prepares its opinion autonomously. Now, people are going to say, well, has BlackRock ever been under any scrutiny? Yes. Recently, Barbara Novick turned BlackRock Inc. into a force into Washington, stepping down. She was a major player. The face of BlackRock's public policy efforts, Ms. Novak built a lobby machine that let the money managers avoid the regulatory burdens big bank face, fueling the firm's transformation into a giant $7.4 trillion asset under its management. She also supervised the firm's oversight over public companies at BlackRock. Number 2. I hate to be the guy that always said I told you so, but everybody that tells you that something happens that ain't really happened, you should automatically think, I should look it up. And when I joke around and tell people that reading is fundamental, I don't mean it to say that reading's easy to do. It's hard. Research is not easy. But I'm saying that if you want to do the research about things and you want to find out things, then all you got to do is look it up. The answer quite simply is yes. She was Benny Power player that stepped down before the outbreak happened, and she was a major player in the $7.4 billion treasury assets that they hold. So when I hear people telling me that treasury is the federal government merging, I laugh. Because you're not the treasury if you're not under any type of scrutiny, or autonomously or publicly. BlackRock is by somewhat measures the biggest investment risk management company across the globe. It holds more assets than anybody. And it specializes in what? This for countries. As a majorly publicly traded company with a market capitalization of more than $84 billion, BlackRock provides investment technology services to both international and retail clients around the world. The firm offers a variety of funds and portfolios investing in vehicles such as equities, money market instruments, and fixed incomes. That's who's buying up your bad debt, folks. They're buying it up. That's the Fed's buying it, and these people are buying it. And guess what's going to happen? BlackRock's already said they're going to sell back that bad debt to other countries, such as your Vietnams, your Brazils, your Japans. And guess what? They won't even take the proceeds from it because they already know that it's dead weight. The investment's focus objective is related to retirement, income, college savings, and exchange trade funds. BlackRock is the parent company for iShares Group or of ETFs, the largest global provider of ETFs. BlackRock reports a single business segment deriving from majority of revenues from investment advisories and administration fees to its clients. Among BlackRock's major competitors are the Vanguard Group, and there's another one, I think it's like TWG. Now, they are active and are subject to extensive governmental regulations and oversight. In particular, an investment advisor and sponsor of the investment companies and other investment products, BlackRock is subject to regulation under the numerous U.S. and federal laws. Bomb. Bomb, bomb, bomb. If you're not under scrutiny because you took over, why are you under scrutiny?
Where'd the bomb machine go? got a message from Mr. Frazier. That's why.
What did he say?
I was trying to see if it was something he wanted you to know. Because it came through, so it was on Telegram.
Telegram?
He sent it directly to you.
It's probably important then. This paragraph. He says, if Parliament does not give confidence to al-Zawahiri, the powers of the Prime Minister will go to the President of the Republic legal. Yeah, we've talked about this again. Mr. Frazier, thank you. Again, if they don't give the powers to this new PM designate, which it looks like they will go to, then guess what? They're going to give it back to Saleh. And guess what? Saleh at that point can make two choices. They can either play ball or dissolve that government and start over. So you have either a 90-day, 60-day window for new voting, or guess what? You can have your job for a year, figure out how they're going to steal everything out of those coffers, and wait a year. But either way, there is no way out of this. They are held by the short and curlies. So we already know that BlackRock is a U.S. has been embedded with the U.S. government for many years. This is definitely not a takeover. It is simply a deferment from the assets in what the U.S. government holds that are negative and referring you to someone that is going to sell those negative ETFs or commodities or stocks or bonds or foreigns, whatever they could be, alliances such as Japan, Brazil. I already told you that. If you don't believe it, Ms. Bibi, do you want the code of ethics for BlackRock affiliated companies so they can see what I'm talking about?
Sure.
What are you trying to do?
I'm trying to get back to the machine. Thank you. I don't like iPhones. I don't know anything. So.
Copy link.
Are you going to post that out there?
Yeah, because people told me they're taking over the Fed. Show me where. They've been in bed with the Fed for about 10 years. This is not a takeover. This is simply a deferment. Okay. There's the URL. Right there, as you want to do your own research, you can see under the guidelines of the SEC.gov. That makes it a government enterprise, not a takeover, but simply a purchase for failing economy that we're in right now. The United States deploys the Patriot system in Erbil and Assad. They're not leaving their post. They are simply rearranging the strategic values because they know the importance to protect an asset and in areas that are more essential than others. It doesn't mean abandonment. It simply means that there are deals being made and that governments are now in some type of dialogue, and that is evident by the repositioning of our troops. That, to me, is huge news. Today, which was Monday, on the 30th, the United States deployed the Patriot air defense system, missile system to Iraq. Washington and Baghdad have been in negotiation for the deployment of the air defense system since January, when Tehran targeted ballistic missiles at Al-Assad base. Now, my question there was, why would you deploy a missile system to a place you're abandoning? You're not. You're just simply repositioning the troops because you know why? You're protecting the asset. The asset needs protecting because the asset, guess what, is the cash cow. Question it is, in January, there was a defense minister and there was a minister of interior. But who exactly was doing this negotiating and whom with? Because they are also negotiating with Russia, and what happened to that? It was not immediately clear that the United States had finally obtained the approval for the Iraqi government. It was not immediately clear. The Patriot to the base, where the U.S. soldiers are being deployed last week, and being installed, according to the American military officials and Iraqi military source. The U.S. said another battery arrived at the base at Erbil, the largest city in the Kurdistan region of Iraq. It's funny they did Erbil first. The same first official added 2 other batteries are still in Kuwait, awaiting transportation to Iraq. So they're already there. Like, it's there. Like, they're doing it. Why are they doing this and telling you that they're abandoning the asset? They're not. Withdraws its soldiers from several bases in the last few weeks, or reposition them, is the question I'd have. The ultimate goal is to continue support for the Iraqi forces fighting the remnants of the Islamic State, but from fewer bases, as with many fewer, said coalition forces. Or what I would add to that is, are you fighting the Islamic State or are you fighting Iran? Because it sounds like you're fighting Iran and just not telling anybody. Number 2. Despite this, U.S. drones are still flying all over Iraqi airspace. U.S. military officials told reporters in Baghdad. So a country that can't sustain its medical availability or take assistance combining vast missiles, or let me read this again. So a country that cannot sustain medical availability for its citizens, but can ask for assistance in combating missile systems, or not under electric because of natural gas circumstances, but it looks like not only it's on its way, but it's simply up for installment. Why can they not simply pass a budget? I'm telling you, there's a lot more going on than what seems to be beyond the naked eye, especially since that missile system cost billions. So, with the dollar raised in the Iraqi market space, and with about 1,260, 100, excuse me, it's $126,000 to the dinar. There's only one thing you can do to really stay in your own economic ecosystem. That is to abandon the use of the dollar in the market space as a whole, as a country, and to strengthen it by using the dinar. By using it over and over and over again, it creates velocity, and we all know that we need to see a stop to the auction. However, guess what they're doing?
What?
They should stop using the dinar as a placement holder for the dollar. They need to use the dinar in the market space, simply put. Now, you can call me at 903-392-9968. I'm taking all questions.
Got a whole bunch of them for you. Okay. So, I'm going to work backwards. How confident do you think Iraq is going to finally give? Wait, what? How confident we think Iraq is going to finally give their people purchasing power?
As confident as I think they pay that final bill to Kuwait.
Okay.
XRP, yes or no? That's for you, not for me. XRP, yes or no?
I'm still buying XRP, of course.
Okay, John, yes. Greg Bauer, that was bomb after bomb after bomb. Russell, that was bombs. Carol, hi Bethany. No, bombs. Bombs. Because I know everybody ain't talking about what we talking about.
May seem like a ridiculous question, but if we all know Iran could truly fix their economy by reevaluating, why don't they just do it?
Because when you have a group of people of 329 people that are basically the ruling elite of a country, and they've been stealing there for over 15 years, do you think you'd so easily give up your position to possibly go to jail or to be held accountable for what you've been doing? You, your sons, your daughters, whomever it is.
First call.
We got a call. How cool. Hello? Hello?
Hey, Mr. B, what's going on? This is Seth.
Hey, Seth, what's going on, dog?
Man, nothing much, man. I just wanted to give you guys love, man. I know a lot of people don't like what you guys say, but, man, there's people out here that really do appreciate the information you bring, you know.
Thanks,
you're not
dog.
bringing no BS to us. You're bringing the truth, man, and it's greatly appreciated.
Man, you just made my day. I'm giving you a bomb all by my damn self. Bomb, boom. I know. You know what, bro? You know what I had to learn? Haters gonna hate and the fake gonna be fake, but I'm always just gonna bring you the news. That's all I'm gonna do.
True indeed. That's all I had to say, though. I ain't gonna take no more of your guys' time, but thank you.
Much love and respect.
Thank you. Stay safe.
All right.
All right, man.
All right.
Peace,
All right.
peace.
So why
Daisy, stop it.
So why don't they just do it already?
Because I just said it really. They've been stealing. They're not gonna stop stealing.
Okay.
It's like if I've been getting away with something for so long, you think I'm gonna give that up because you want me to? Because you think it's in the best interest of these other people? That I don't care if they eat. I don't care if they got medical supplies. As long as I can leave the country and go to Europe and get my sicknesses cured and my family's fine. I can run roughshod over the economy. If I'm living like the ultimate elite, what do I care about the pet? They call them peasants. They don't even call them citizens. They call them peasants. So what do you think? And now with Alak having the coronavirus supposedly, or the virus with his family.
Iraq's next week is the week, right? Like they should be starting Sunday with the government, maybe.
They've been talking about they're gonna pass this dude next week. Yeah, April 6th is a big date for me. Kind of like I'm calling it a currency Christmas again. big enforcement day for trade agreements, but we're going to see how that goes because of the 19. So, Daisy, if you don't stop, I'm going to lock you out.
Janelle wants to know, how confident are you about the PM Ali Zor
Zarafi? I'm pretty
government?
confident about this dude, for real. I'm pretty.
His government will be passed.
Yeah.
Yeah. And King says, please talk about the ISX.
What do you want me to talk about the ISX?
That was just the statement.
I mean, the ISX is a great stock exchange that's overachieved our stock exchange for about the last 5 to 7 years. It's a good investment for when the value of even if it changed 10 cents to be totally negative. 10 cents. Daisy's going nuts. 10 cents. You would make more money on the Iraqi stock exchange than you ever would on exchanging currency. Because that exchange would happen for you every time there was a dividend sent to you. Does that make sense? You can only exchange your currency once. You can collect dividends once a quarter, once a week, once a month, once a day, whatever that market emerges to. It's a huge investment.
I don't understand Judd's question. I'm gonna try to make sense. No trade going on. No value rising value.
Yeah. Well, no trade is what you're basically saying is nobody's doing any trade, border-wise, no value rising. Not necessarily true because people are still buying cell phones. The only people you talk about being out of cell phones or TV are Apple, right? So Samsung's still in the marketplace. Where are they coming out of? Vietnam. So guess what? Vietnam's still in a trade war. Not trade war, that's an ugly word. They're still in a trade balance with somebody. They're shipping their goods to somebody else. Nobody wants anything out of China, which it needed to be corrected. The market was convoluted. I've said that for a long time. It's not the greatest market on earth. It's the greatest convoluted market on earth based upon the biggest wish, based upon a president that played it better than anybody. Anybody. He took advantage of 11 years worth of work for 4 years, and he should have. I would have done the same thing. I am the greatest. I am the best. I am this. I am that. I believe it. The numbers show it.
Roger.
Roger.
It's Roger.
Hey, Roger.
Hey, man, how you doing?
Good, bro. How you doing?
All right, quick question, man.
Shoot, bro.
First of all, I'm calling from North Carolina, man. I just want to say appreciate the work that y'all do.
Shout out North Cackalack. I got my North Cackalack shirt down there. I've been there several times.
Oh, okay. My question is, and maybe you've addressed this already, I just peeked in. With no auction going on, oil $30+ a loss per barrel, and seemingly no other revenue coming in, how are they maintaining even the remote possibilities of not revaluing their currency?
They got two choices. They got three choices. Deplete their bond markets. So sell off their foreign assets, sell off their own bond market accounts. They can sell off all their gold. And guess what else they can do? They can live off their reserves. They say for 12 to 14 months. But we know they can't do that. So in honesty, I don't know what else they can do. They've got to do something. Something. Or guess what? Iraq's going to become Haiti. It's going to become worse than a third world country. It's going to be worthless.
Wow. I would think if they deplete their reserves, then they really don't have anything to substantiate that's what's backing it, isn't it?
Nah, but you got to remember it. They hold a bunch of foreign assets, especially the United States bond market, and they hold a whole bunch of gold. They got a lot more to run through than just foreign assets. That's called the whole remedy to the whole golden zombie argument. The bond market, you've got the gold market, you've got all these fail-safes in case it all goes crazy. Guess what? You can sell these commodities and recapture your economy. And that's what I don't understand about people. They're like, well, sink into this, sink into that, sink into this. Well, pretty soon there's no more rabbit holes to go down. You've exasperated all of them.
All right. So basically, we're looking at $60 billion, make it run through in 12 or 14 months.
Easy.
And then you still at zero.
Easy, yes. And you know what? They'll steal probably 40% of that 60 billion. So call it 24 billion. 24 less 60 is what? 40, no, 36 billion. And guess what? They'll steal another 20% because they're so greedy. It'll be down another 20%. They don't have 60 billion that they can steal because you know what? We control from the federal government what we send to them in asset from their oil revenues. So we ain't gonna allow them to bankrupt themselves. That's the truth. The United States is going to step in and say, we ain't going to let you to steal it all. So
I want to see that happening because on top of all that, you got everybody else that's investing in you that's counting on you to do well, or if they look like fools, for investing in your country.
let me tell you this. For all his faults, our president will do this. He will cut you off. He will cut you off. Remember that scandal he was involved with that country? I'm not going to name him.
Okay.
He told them, you don't play ball with me. You want to do what I want to do? Guess what? I just won't simply send you any money. And he meant it. And I'm God. You know what? That's the way countries should be run. Honestly, you listen, it's hard at the top. And I'm not begrudging this man at all. And I'm not rah-rahing him either. But I support because you know what? I make a lot of decisions based upon the company that I run, the business that I'm in. Not because I want to do it, because it's good for the company. It's good for the country. And you know what? If you're going to help me dismantle my enemy, then guess what? I'm all for you. My friend's enemy is my friend.
Gotcha. Well, I ain't gonna hold you down. Now that you probably got other people calling in, man.
Nah, man, we chilling. We chilling. I appreciate it. We went early on purpose, man. I appreciate y'all. Appreciate every call, every like, even these dislikes. That means you watched it this long. Thank you. Appreciate you. Shoot, haters gonna hate. I love you for doing it.
Yeah.
Happy to help.
All you can do is report the news, man. That's it. I feel you.
Baby, you know I can't say nothing but what they tell me. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But they hate on that. I can't do no different. So I appreciate every like. Appreciate the calls. I'm going back old school. For the next probably 10 shows, I'm posting my number. You got beef, call me, baby.
Later, man.
Later, dog.
Bye.
Bye. You got beef? Let's talk about it.
That's all the questions I
Well, and guess what? That's about an hour.
that is.
And so you know what? We'll hang up. We'll call it a day. I appreciate each and every one of y'all, man. Thank you so much for participating. Even with the dislikes. Oh man, hold on. One more question. This is from Ann Arbor, Michigan. So let's see what Michigan talking about.
From DeAndre.
DeAndre, hey, what's going on, man?
How you doing, man?
Man, I'm holding it down. How you doing?
Cool. Hey, listen, man. I wanted to call you and talk to you about see how you feel about it. I think I've emailed you about this. How long we hold our notes after we exchange.
Oh yeah, those notes were run, coexistent for 10 years after they reinstate. So we talked about that, yeah.
Okay, so here's the thing, man, and because I need to, if you can direct me to find that info, because I was able to talk with Brightling. I only listen to y'all two, man, because y'all knowledgeable.
No, I like Brightling. I listen to him too. He's good peoples. I listen to Vital. I like Vital Brad too. I like Udo Matrix. She's dope. I listen to a few people. You know what I mean? I like Brightling. He don't be trying to bullcorn people that I know of. You know what I'm saying? So
I just listened to y'all too, and so I was able to talk to him on a webinar.
Mm-hmm.
So I asked him because a couple of my friends, they wanted to know too, because he had said something in the audio about a 2 year. So I said, man, when this revalue, I heard it's supposed to coexist for 10. I said, how long are we sitting on this for? He says 2. So I just need some direction where I can look
It's
that up.
10. I'll find. Man, email me. You got my email. It's Mr. Brando.
He said he did,
Did you email me? Hit me again. I'll send you that doc. I got it somewhere. It may take me a little while to find it, but since I'm sitting here chilling anyway, I'll find it and shoot it to you, man. I got no problem doing that.
Yeah, because the reason why I wanted to tell you that too, because I didn't want you or anybody else to be sitting on it for more than 2 years. Then we find out it's obsolete.
Bro.
I didn't want that to happen to you and your
Bro,
wife.
let me tell you something. After reinstatement happens, you know how long I'll be sitting on it for?
30 days.
I think you said 45 days.
45 to 60 days is total. In all, total. I'll be liquid. Totally liquid. On to the next thing.
Now let me ask you something, since I got you.
Mm-hmm.
Because I haven't been able to call recently. So what's your reason, or is it personal? You don't want to share over the call. What's your reason for wanting to like do it in 2 months and then? Because I'm just getting like insight.
Sure, because it's over. Like it's not like a stock. It's not gonna have ebb and flow. At some point, it's going to get up. It's going to hit a pinnacle and it's going to drop. I want to ride the wave for what it is. I'm going to be in and out, just like I've studied other markets. That's it. There have been
Okay, you don't think
77
like
revaluations, not just Kuwait. A lot of people got to look at all these evaluations and say, how long did it really take? 30 to 45 to 60 days tops. You're in and out, man. It's like a robbery. You're done. You're sitting on for
so
2
you
years.
don't
You're
think?
crazy.
Okay, so you don't think even like 6 months to a year it could go up higher?
Mm-mm.
Okay,
Nope, I don't.
all right.
Not at all. I don't think it'll go. Whatever it is, it'll be at its peak. You'll never see that number again, and you'll know it because as you watch the market ebb and flow, you'll say to yourself, "Hey, looks higher than it's ever been that I've ever seen. This is my number, and that's the number I need to go exchange. I need to go to the bank immediately." And for all those people that think they can't go to the bank because they're only doing drive-throughs, I called my bank today. Chase told me today if I want to do an exchange, all I got to do is set up a meeting. We'll go in.
Yeah,
They'll accept my currency. I can go in there and exchange it. It deposited in my account, and we're done. I can go in the bank. But you gotta have an
yeah,
appointment.
yeah. I heard that too. That one of my credit unions, they only doing that 2 appointment because of the virus issue.
Mm-hmm.
So, I think that was it, man. Like I said, I just wanted to pass it on, what I heard from him, because, like I said, I only go back and forth between y'all two.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody else, in my opinion, gets a little off.
You know how I do, baby. I'm trying to behave. I'm trying to behave. You know what I'm saying? I don't get into all
Yeah,
that, man. I don't know no aliens. I knew ET when I was like 7 years old. I'm like 40 something now. You know what I'm saying? I watched ET. I don't.
yeah,
I sang Jesus Loves Me when I was a little kid, but I don't talk to Jesus like that. So
yeah. Nah, like I said, right? Yeah, I just wanted to run that back. And so what I'll do, man, I'll email and I'll let you know. Hey, that was me who you
Yeah,
chatting
right
this
on.
week.
Yeah, and I'll get you the doc. I'll find it, man. If I got 100 tomorrow all day, I'll find it. Real
Okay,
talk.
bro.
I don't mind, man, because you know what? I think about this, and I say this to everybody out there, man, and I mean this sincerely. Why do you talk about something you can't put up your proof for? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, don't talk about it if you ain't got
Yeah,
proof. I don't want to hear about your prophetic. I'm not going to get on that, but I don't want to hear about nothing you can't prove. You can prove it.
yeah,
Show it to
yeah.
me.
Yeah, that's what I was when I found out about this 5 years ago. That's what I was hearing. I was like, oh man, this stuff sounds up. Did I invest in the right thing? And what happened? I stumbled across it, and I said, okay, nah, this is making sense because I was doing some research of my own, and that came off a little okay, but it was like stumbled across him, and then a few years later, you. And so,
Mm-hmm.
because the other nonsense I was hearing, it almost wanted me to take my currency back.
Man, I tell you this. If,
So,
if if I put it like this, I'll tell people. I say it with great confidence. If I spent all my time listening to everything that was out there, I'd have traded in my currency 9 years ago. I've been holding it 11 because I thought if it was run by these yahoos, I'm done. Because these people don't know
man.
nothing. Just being honest.
Oh, yeah. Oh, and real quick, April, I just wanted to say I sat in on one of your chats on a Saturday one day. You was going over crypto. So
Oh
Oh
I
well, let me give her
yeah.
the phone in
appreciate
here.
your knowledge.
What was that? You said
Oh,
what?
did you? Oh, I just want. So I just want one day on a Saturday. I sat in on one of your chats. You was talking about cryptocurrency. So I want to
Okay.
thank you for your knowledge too, y'all. You the reason why I got started on XRP and the rest of it.
Oh,
I
thank you,
did my
thank
own
you.
research. Yeah,
I
I did my own research, but I appreciate you doing that too.
thank you very much. I actually went live last night and I talked about stocks
Oh,
and a few cryptos as well. So if you go back and check out that video, I talk about my three that I'm eyeing right now, and I'm waiting for the price to drop a little bit more. Of course, XRP's on there, Litecoin and Ethereum. Those are my three right now.
okay, cool.
And
So
Sherry had a
I should
question
have been
too.
there.
what was that? I'm sorry.
Yeah, I should have been there. I was so glad I finally opened up a Coinbase account and got started. It was just getting past the mental of getting of actually doing it.
Yeah, Mark Twain will tell you. I think he says like 98% of it's just showing up. So just opening up that Coinbase, you ain't got to be on Coinbase Pro, but just open up your Robinhood, your Coinbases, getting involved in the space, get you in the game. Because if you don't buy a lottery ticket and you pray every day, I want to win the lottery, you know what God tells you? Bruh, just buy a ticket.
Just buy a ticket.
Can't buy a ticket if you ain't in the game.
Yeah.
Right.
There you go.
Yeah, man. So I appreciate y'all, and just want to say thanks to both of y'all.
Appreciate the love. Thank
Thank
you.
you, and you be safe, okay?
Be safe.
Yeah, y'all stay safe too.
All right.
All right, take care.
All right. Bye-bye.
Hey, Sherry, the answer is no. We haven't sent out all the phones yet. Daisy,
I
stop.
already answered it.
Oh, okay.
I'm talking to them in the chat.
Okay, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Clyde, what do we do when we have a recession or depression, either post, pre, or I? What you do is you want to exchange your currency because you have to for USD. At that point, you want to look for the most stable currency around the nation, wherever it is. And you might want to develop what's called a foreign currency account and change your position from USD to something else, depending on where it could be from, that holds the most stable currency as a transfer. So you make sure that you maximize the amount of money you keep. I'm getting calls and texts now everywhere. Hello?
Michael Ford.
To accept, press.
Hello?
Hello, Mr. B.
Hey, yo, what's going on, baby?
All right, this is Mike.
Hey, Mark, what's going on, dog?
No, Mike Ford.
Hey, Mike, I'm sorry. I thought it was Mark.
It's Mike.
That's okay. How you doing? How are you doing, Miss April?
Good. How are you?
I'm good. Hey, I got a question. I don't want to keep you long. The dong, do you think it's going to come out low first and then they work their way up gradually?
Man, I don't know. I mean, I think it's going to be a I think they're going to revalue, not reinstate. Does that make sense?
Okay.
Meaning that they're going to come out at a number that's going to be decent. Like they're not going to come out as so much a teaser. They're going to come out at something kind of fierce because of trade, because their ongoing trade happens daily. And they don't want to be perceived as a currency manipulator. So I see them coming out a little bit more aggressive than possibly Iraq could.
So you think they'll come out with a strong number at 1st? So it won't be like a nickel or something like that. You think they're going to come out at a strong number and that's where they'll sit?
And they'll stay there. Like if it's 25 cents, it's 25 cents. If it's 50-50. But I think because this digital dollarization thing, man, you got an opportunity to see trade on a whole new platform. I'm not saying it's going to be a dollar. I'm just saying, think about it. It can't be a trade deficit if it's free trade. There's no such thing. It's unit for unit.
Okay. So that's what I'm hoping at least, like Ms. April was talking about, that 47 cent or more. If it's at least in that range, that's a great range.
Oh, yeah, 47 cents. I'll get on here and dance naked.
Oh, God.
You'll see tattoos and all. I'll be on here. You think I'm tatted up. You'll be on here like, what is this fat dude doing on here dancing? I will be dancing everywhere.
I don't think nobody wants to see that.
That'll be the worst show ever. I'll get no views. But you know what? I'll be happy.
Now, one more question, too.
Uh-huh.
On the Iraq thing. Since our president has done what he's done as far as telling them, the MPs, if they don't do it, he's going to send that information over to the international. You think that's going to make it easier for him to get in there?
Yeah, because there's no more bullies over there to enforce the Iranian position. Think about it. If you go into a bar. You ever been to a bar? Don't say yes or no.
Oh, yeah.
Go into a bar. And you see a pretty girl sitting next to the biggest, baddest dude in the bar. What do? You walk over to him, slap her on the butt, and you say, hey, how you doing, girl?
Yeah, right.
And whatever comes with it, comes with it. Soleimani's dead. That's the biggest, baddest guy in the bar. He's gone. Gone forever. No one's going to replace them boots. So you know what happens? Now you actually feel the real threats that can happen to the United States because this guy, Zafari, man, he's got American ties. And I think he's really working with them in Britain and France and all these other people. And he's saying, you know what? I don't want to be left behind. If I'm going to bring this country to the forefront and they've got purchasing power, they've got all these other things, I don't want for 1 minute them guys that all of a sudden when I leave office, they have early elections, them do what? Screw it up. So you know what? They got to slap the biggest, baddest guy in the bar. And that's Iran. And once you tell them, I'm going to come over and take over anyway, if they ain't afraid of Iran at that point, who are you afraid of? Hell's Ebola? Come on, man. They just negotiated this whole thing with Al Qaeda. Hell's Ebola would be a dream if the United States got active on their butt.
Um,
Okay.
All right, man.
Well, all right, thank you for your time, and you two both be safe and have a good evening.
all right.
You too,
take
man.
care. Be safe.
All right, you too. Bye-bye.
Keep it real.
Bye-bye.
All right, man.
Shanta wants to know, is Venezuela still under sanctions?
They're under government. They're under a lot of things. I don't know if they're under sanctions. I could look it up real fast, but yeah. But right now, Venezuela is not a buy. Venezuelan Bolivar is not a buy. What we're waiting for is them to take over that government, change it, new elections, issue a new currency. Then you want to buy it from its early stages.
Oh, Daisy, you own one now, right?
Mm-hmm. Daisy mad.
No, she want to play. That food didn't settle down.
Well, y'all. I subscribed. Thank you, Russell. Thank you. Thank you for the subscription. I appreciate that.
The sanctions restrict Venezuela government access to the U.S. debt and equity markets. Issued in 2018, Executive Order 13827.
There you go. They're under sanctions. After the dinar reinstates, can you buy it still? But yeah, why would you though? It's kind of like I tell people, I'm not gonna buy the Chinese yuan unless I was a millionaire or a billionaire because I can't buy enough of it at a profit margin to profit off of it to see enough money for what I think the investment would be. I look at it from averages. You know, at 23,000 to 1, I'm making huge gains. If I'm looking at from 1170 to 1, I'm making 1260 to 1, I'm making huge gains. Why would I buy it if it's 1 for 1 and hope it raises to 3 to 1 and then I'm stuck at my money? You see what I'm saying?
Sammy D says after the dinar
I just answered it.
Oh, my bad. I'm sorry. My bad.
She's waiting on dessert. Yeah, she is. She's waiting on her movie time, family
I
time.
want to go play.
She's going to go down there and play with
She
Nisi.
want to pace the floor.
Y'all, I will say this. This is the very first time on here. We did it on Patreon the other day. Yeah, if I'm dancing naked, y'all don't want to see that. We got more likes than we got viewers on a live. But you know what? I'm going to humbly say goodnight. And thank you guys for tuning in.
You know, it's the 1 year anniversary of Nipsey's death.
It's also almost the 1 year anniversary of our show.
Actually, our anniversary was December.
Not of the show. No, it's coming up. Yeah, they sent me a message on YouTube.
I don't know why we started December 7th. But, remember the move bank?
Might be Patreon then.
Yes, that's what it
That's
was.
what it was. Patreon.
Yes.
All right, y'all. Subscribe to Patreon if you can. I appreciate everybody. Run some specials on there coming up in a little while. And keep challenging the information. Keep challenging where you are. You know, like I tell people, if they can't prove it to you, why you listening to them? And with that, man, I'm gonna say goodnight.
Hasta luego.
And you know it's Polo.
Be safe.
Be safe.